Welcome back, everybody, to another segment of Wednesday Wisdom on the Educational AD Podcast. We're going to be right back with this week's Wednesday Wisdom guest, but as always, we're going to give a shout out to our sponsors. Now, come on, don't hit that fast forward button. These are all companies that I used as an athletic director. They're all great companies. I really recommend that you check them out. So take 3 minutes, listen to our shout outs, then listen to our Wednesday Wisdom guest, and then go and visit these sponsors. I'm telling you, you're going to be glad you did. Here we go. We want to say thanks to K-12 Sports Tech for sponsoring the Wednesday Wisdom segments. K-12 Sports Tech helps athletic directors and sport vendors connect through education and hands-on consulting services. Athletic directors are also invited to join the K-12 Sports Tech AD Think Tank and help influence how companies share their tech with athletic directors and programs. To find out more, all you have to do is go to k12sportstech.com. That's it, k12sportstech.com. We also want to say thanks to our good friends at Gipper. You know, your students are on social media, and if they're not seeing content that celebrates their accomplishments and promotes your program, you're missing out on a great opportunity. Go to Gipper.com. It's used and trusted by over 20,000 programs across the country, and whether it's a social media post at a game or a newsletter to promote your entire athletic program, the Gipper team will have you creating world-class content in seconds. It's so easy, even I can do it. Go to Gipper.com to get started. We also want to say thanks to Home Campus. Home Campus is a platform you will use every single day. Things like scheduling, rosters, results. Their student athlete eligibility and clearance platform alone is worth the price. To get started, all you have to do is go to homecampus.com. That's it, homecampus.com. We also want to say thanks to our good friends at Sideline Interactive, indoor score tables and video boards. Go to sidelineinteractive.com and you can schedule a live web demo to see their score tables and their score boards in action. Probably one of the best purchases I ever made was our Sideline Interactive indoor score table. Go to sidelineinteractive.com to get started. We also want to thank our good friends at Hometown Ticketing. They're going to be at the NADC conference. Go to booth number 419. But Hometown is digital ticketing that offers more. Whether it's more support, more security, or more customization, go to hometownticketing.com and let their team help you make the best online ticketing solution. That's hometownticketing.com. We want to thank our good friends at Vital Signs Wall of Fame. If you're looking for a really cool way to display your school record boards for all the teams, for all the different events, or to show off your school's Hall of Fame, go to Vital Signs Wall of Fame and take a look at their interactive touch screen. That's right, touch screen video consoles. It's also a great way to show off your school's unique history and brag about your proudest moments. The website is vitalsignswalloffame.com. Don't forget to mention the podcast. We want to thank SnapRaise for their support. Have you ever spent weeks and weeks with a fundraiser and been disappointed in the results? Well, those days are gone. Go to snapraise.com. It's hands down the best online fundraiser out there. We used it at our school with great success. Our coaches loved it. Our parents loved it because it works. Go to snapraise.com. You can check out their other great platforms. But if you're looking for a fundraiser, you just found it. It's snapraise.com. We want to say thank you to Ohio University and their online masters in athletic administration. Now, I didn't get my master's from Ohio University, but my assistant athletic director did, along with thousands of others, and it was a great experience. It's very affordable, just 20 months, totally online. And while you're earning your master's degree, you're also completing 11 NIAAA leadership training courses at no extra charge. Go to ohio.edu/info/MAA, the Ohio University Online Masters. We want to thank our good friends at Huddle. As a football coach, I used Huddle for years, but when I became an athletic director, I made sure that our school was a Huddle school, and our coaches just loved the tools that Huddle provided. Our student athletes loved the videos, and our parents loved the streaming, but there is so much more. Go to huddle.com, join the 8 million users, and turn your school into a Huddle school. Finally, we want to thank Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack. In my school, we use surveys for just about everything kids, coaches, teachers, parents, you name it. And here's the cool thing, the information that would come back on these surveys was almost always over the top positive. But it also allowed us to hear from those squeaky wheel parents. And typically, it's a small thing. We could address their issue before it became a big thing. But having all of that positive data is incredibly valuable, especially when you're visiting with a frustrated parent or student athlete, or maybe your principal, or even your school board. Go to athleticsurveys.com. They're going to create a custom survey that lets you take the pulse of everybody in your program. That's athleticsurveys.com. Welcome back, everybody, to another segment of Wednesday Wisdom on the Educational AD Podcast. We're visiting with one of our more frequent presenters, although it's been a while since she's been on. Regular listeners to the podcast will recognize the name Elisha De Jesus. She's a certified athletic administrator, and she is the director of athletics for the Middletown School District program, Middletown High School. Does a tremendous job with their teams, also very active at the national level on national committees, also involved with Nomad organization. She's going to talk about all of that. But Elisha, welcome back to Wednesday Wisdom.
Hi, Jake. Good to be here. Thanks for having me again. It does feel like I haven't been here in a little bit, but life is lifing. So glad to be back and happy to be a part of it.
Oh, absolutely. For our listeners, we're recording this on November 20th, so it's going to be very timely as you listen to it. Elisha, I just said, it's been a while. Give us a little bit of update. How are things going in Middleton? I know you've got some things coming up with the NADC less than a month away. So, what's going on with Elisha De Jesus?
Actually, exciting news at a personal level. I did get married over the summer. So yeah, that was definitely the highlight of, it's been the highlight. But as all of us know in the athletic director world, balancing getting ready for a wedding and the job was difficult. But it happened, and everything, all the support that I received, both obviously in my personal life and my work life, definitely was appreciated. So that's kind of the biggest thing. As you can imagine, that happened to me in the last few months. And then, just excited, as you said, it is November 20th and we're getting close to the NADC. So excited to get to Austin, just to see people connect, network, super excited about that. As you mentioned, with Nomad being on the board, with our Nomad organization, seeing that crew is going to kind of fill my cup as it usually does every December. And then, I'm proud to say that I have been officially appointed the vice chair of the NIAAA DEIB committee. So, our president, Kevin, Kevin Adams. He is, his term has come to an end, and he will be going off in December. And then I will be officially as vice chair come December in our meeting, and I am happy that I will be under the direction of Rebecca Moe, who is will be the president. So just great people to be leading and to be under and to be learning from. So really excited about the work that we're doing. And as I said, leading up to the conference, we're doing a lot of work, getting a lot of things done to make the conference as beneficial as possible for all of our members. I'm hoping that everybody's gotten, our newsletter that is being sent out via the NIAAA, the DEIB newsletter. We will be setting up. We're actually we're getting ready to release the newsletter for December. So it's like our pre-conference newsletter, which will give all information about all the different presentations that are happening, diversity, equity, inclusion, belonging, presentations that are happening, our fellowship that we're super excited about. That's happening on Sunday at 7 a.m. It's a new time, new date. So, usually it's a little later in the evening during the conference, but this year, we changed it up a bit with the direction of the NIAAA. We're just trying to get it out there so that we have, we can increase our participation. And excited to announce that we are going to be having Dr. Vanessa DeGuao. She is the co-founder of High School Sports Lab as a presenter, and Corey Wallace. She's leadership and the co-founder of High School Lab. And they're going to be presenting on protecting student athletes from hate speech and harassment by building muscle for belonging. So that's going to happen at 7 a.m. on December 15th. Got to put a plug in for our committee. So we're hoping that we can get a lot of folks out there for that. And then, we're lucky to be able to have a workshop right after that is going to kind of continue the conversation from that presentation. And that workshop's going to be led by our Section 4 representative, Chris Livatino. And I believe, yes, that the name of that presentation is Fostering Inclusivity in Athletic Teams and Leagues. So it's basically going off of the fellowship presentation, and then we're going right into like a turn and talk type workshop. So we're hoping that this format, gives us the increase in participation and people to stick around and to have conversation, because we all know what networking can do in our profession, and we're just really excited about that.
Wow. Well, first of all, congratulations on getting married. I'm just going to jump in here with a quick question. Where'd y'all go for that all-important honeymoon?
So interestingly enough, we actually did a buddy moon. Not sure if people have heard of this concept, but so we invited like a bunch of our like people in our party, other people that came to our wedding. We went to Mexico. We're going to do an all-inclusive in Mexico for this amount of time. If you can go, come on. If you can't, no worries. We just kind of wanted to continue the party because that's just, we just want to have a good time. We want to dance. So there was about 9 of us that went on the trip to Mexico, but we are doing our own honeymoon this coming summer, where we're going to Europe, hopefully, going to Greece and Portugal. That's the plan. It's November 20th. We haven't put that on we haven't gotten flights or anything, but that is still the plan. So hoping to do that. But the buddy moon, if folks out there, if you can do that, it's the way to go. You have your own time when you want your own time, but then you have your people with you that you can continue that party.
I love it. I've never heard of that. The buddy moon. I want to see some pictures of those dance moves out there. Okay. Also, congratulations on becoming the vice chair. I was the co-vice chair actually, of the certification committee for a number of years, and it was just such a great experience, so rewarding. Connecting with people from different parts of the country, and just really some A-list people. So that's got to be exciting. Let's go ahead and stay on DEIB. I was just having a conversation with someone the other day, sort of affiliated with our profession of athletics, but was just very sincere in their own self-proclaimed ignorance about DEI and well, what is it? What's DEIB? I just read that somewhere, and I saw a great summary. I wish I knew where the source was, but hey, you're the expert. For our listeners, somebody who might be in that same position, what is DEIB? And then from your perspective, the DEIB committee is one of the younger, newer committees for NIAAA. How have you seen it grow? in the last year or so? And, what are some projects coming up, or what are some goals, I guess, of the committee moving forward?
Yeah, so first question, DEIB, diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. We a committee that started pretty much after the murder of George Floyd in 2020. It was an ad hoc committee for a period of time. And then we became officially a committee a couple years ago. We're a committee, we have a purpose, we have a mission statement. We're here to develop and grow underrepresented athletic administrators within our membership, within the NIAAA. We are committed to intentional, and that's a key word, right? Intentional acts towards recruiting, fostering, retaining, and celebrating diversity within our organization. So providing opportunities, creating inclusive, safe spaces where people feel comfortable being themselves, right? And one of the things for me personally, right, as a Puerto Rican woman, as a Puerto Rican gay woman, I check all those boxes. And it was really difficult for me coming in 11 years ago to the first national conference, looking around and trying to like figure out where I fit in. Like, where do I fit in here? And even here in the space, where I work at Middletown Public Schools, super inclusive. Like, I feel like this is a great place to work. But I still, as the athletic director, we're the only ones in the building, right? We're the only ones that know what's really going on in our, within our responsibilities and what we have to, on a daily basis go through. Going to my first, conference, I was just like, all right, like where do I fit in? And, I was very lucky to have a couple people in my conference in Connecticut, in our league that Middletown is a part of, that introduced me at, that networking, right? That introduced me to some folks, Kevin G. Adams, Anthony Thomas, Carlo, like that, where I was like, all right, like, okay, I'm listening, I'm learning. They have diverse backgrounds, they have stories that I can connect with. And it was huge for me. It was huge because if I didn't, and I think I spoke about this a little bit the first time I was on the podcast. Now I'm here 11 years later, and I'll go back to why DIB is important, but I think within the conversation that I'm having, you guys can hear it. When I think back 11 years to where I am now and how I feel in this profession, I'm more confident. Obviously, that comes with the experience you get, but I think it's all about the people that you surround yourself with and the people that are helping you and mentoring you, and you're allowing these people to see you, to see all of you, your unapologetic self. And that's what I've learned being, since 2020, being a part of this committee, being a part of Nomad. You got to be you. You know what I mean? Like, I have to be comfortable being who I am. And it's taken some time, but I'm here. And, you mentioned that I have my CAA. That's new. I just got it end of October. So like the only reason like it took me 11 years to get my CAA. Like, why did it take you 11 years? It took me time. Like, at first I was like, no, I'm good. I don't need it. I got my 092. That's a certification in Connecticut. Like, I don't need that. However, through the people that I met, Trish Wicken, huge mentor for me, huge friend of mine. She's my people, right? And she's our state coordinator, our test state coordinator. Her experiences through the CAA, and now, I'm looking to do my CMMA. But I was just at that point where I felt comfortable and I had these experiences and I met all these people, and I'm like, I got to do this for me. This is something that I got to do for me. And I just felt that because I allowed myself to be me. and I was comfortable, and I am comfortable in the spaces that I am now because I am more confident. I have the experiences that I've had. I've been blessed to have all of these opportunities, to be a part of, to be at the table, to have the discussions, to bring up what I feel we need to bring up and what we need to fight for and advocate for. So, the piece of belonging and being, included, just for me personally has helped me grow professionally in this profession. And the people around me have helped tremendously for me to get there.
Well, thanks so much for sharing all of that. And that last little piece, I was going to ask the question. So, you talked about checking boxes. As someone myself, I don't check any of those boxes. But part of our podcast, I am very proud that sound you hear now is me patting myself on the back. Half of our guests, have been women, and I think we have been intentional about reaching out to have diverse groups. But here's my question, and you kind of touched on it. The belonging and the inclusion, is that the tip of the pyramid? And even though maybe, and these are my words, so correct me if I'm just stepping all over this, even though it's the tip of, say, the pyramid, aren't those the two most important components of DEIB?
The two most important. I
Maybe
think
that's
it's
not the
all
best way to phrase it.
I
Yeah.
think it's all important, right? I think we have to look at things from a perspective. You have to have different perspectives at the table. Because like you said, you don't check the boxes that I checked,
Mhm.
obviously. So your experiences are totally different than mine. Um, and that's okay. But
Right.
we all bring something different to the table. So I think obviously, you want to be included, you want to have inclusivity, you want people to feel like they belong, but you got to have difficult conversations. You have to put yourselves in situations where you have to know that people aren't going to agree with you, but because you're fighting for your students, because you're fighting for your profession, for your membership, our black and brown folks that are in our membership, you gotta feel confident enough to bring up the hard stuff, and that diversity and equity piece is so important because there's so many we have to realize and we have to know the inequities that are out there.
Mhm.
We have to know that we are diverse, but are we doing everything we can as a membership to um for all? Are we doing everything we can for all of our membership, for all of our members? And we gotta take a deep look, you know, at the systems that we have in place as far as equity. What can we do here? Like who are presenting awards for our women awardees? Are we being intentional? These are just little like, examples that I'm giving, but they're a big deal, right? So I think the biggest thing is really knowing where we're lacking, having having knowing that we have a lot of room to grow, and putting that out there and looking at it like that so that we can then, all right, so this is where we're lacking. What can we do to be more inclusive? Why aren't we diverse here? Why are these inequities in place here? So what can we do? What are the action steps? So I think it's all important. We just have to name it. We have to be able to name it and be okay with naming it and be uncomfortable. People need to be uncomfortable. It's okay to be uncomfortable. We have to have these difficult conversations.
Yeah. No, and again, I appreciate you clarifying that. I was probably pretty clumsy in using that more important or most important, but you were just so powerful in sharing your own experience that you felt included, you felt that you belonged, after those 11 years. And again, you're absolutely right. We're not anywhere near where we should be, but we're moving forward. Wow, thanks so much for sharing that. Very powerful stuff. Um, let's go ahead and give out the date. I know it was December 15th again, and the time. Where can people go for the event? And then also, how can people reach out and get in touch with you?
So the event is our diversity fellowship that the NIAAA DEIB committee is hosting is going to be on Sunday, December 15th. It's going to be starting at 7 a.m. We're going to have some light breakfast that'll be provided during that time. You are going to get scanned in. Like, we're really excited about having the opportunity for folks to scan in and to get that data and to see the numbers that we really have attending our fellowship. The fellowship is going to start from 7:30. It'll be from 7:30 to 8:30, and it's going to be in meeting room 18A and B. So again, that's meeting room 18A and B. And then right after, Chris will lead the workshop titled Fostering Inclusivity in Athletic Teams and Leagues. So it'll be a turn and talk. Super excited about that. There's some other things going on throughout the week at Austin that'll have, presentations on different diversity, equity, belonging, inclusive presentations. So please look out for the newsletter that'll be coming out pre-conference. That's gonna state all of the presentations that are happening, so that we're going to be advertising that, just because we want folks to come, learn, grow, and help advocate for our underrepresented athletic directors, our underrepresented student athletes. Yeah, we need it.
Well, and once again, if somebody wanted to reach out to you directly, and listeners, you have a tremendous resource here. How do folks get in touch with Elisha De Jesus?
The easiest way is through just my email. It's going to be dejesus@mpsct.org. So DeJesus, DEJESUSE@mpsct.org. You could also just look up Middletown, Connecticut athletic director, and it'll come right up.
Okay. And for all of our NIAAA members, Elisha's information's on the NIAAA membership portal as well. Elisha, thanks again for coming on. I know it's a very busy time for you, but appreciate you sharing, and looking forward to seeing you again at the national conference.
Yes, same here, Jake. Thanks for having me.
For our listeners, we appreciate you, and just remind you that we upload the Zoom recordings of all of our interviews to the Educational AD Podcast YouTube channel. We do this segment every week, and just about every day we try to share stories from the world of athletics on the Educational AD Podcast. So please come back and join us for the next one. Before we go, we do want to thank all of our great sponsors, including K-12 Sports Tech, who sponsor all of our Wednesday Wisdom segments. I want to thank our other sponsors, including Gipper. Go to Gipper.com. Home Campus, you'll find them at homecampus.com. Sideline Interactive, indoor score tables and video boards, sidelineinteractive.com. Huddle, go to huddle.com. Snap Raise, you'll find them at snapraise.com. Vital Signs Wall of Fame, that's vitalsignswalloffame.com. Athletic Surveys by Lifetrack, athleticsurveys.com. Hometown Ticketing, you'll find them at hometownticketing.com. And Ohio University's Online Masters in Athletic Administration, that's ohio.edu/info/MAA. Thanks again for listening to this segment of Wednesday Wisdom. We'll see you next time on the Educational AD Podcast.